You have to make up your mind about how much you believe in Kawhi Leonard.
Well, we're going to get to that in a second.
No, wait a minute. No. We're there now. Because when you talk about what they need what they need is you know what? I mean, you got Kawhi Leonard. He's the baddest man on the planet. I mean, it shouldn't matter. You see what I'm saying? I'm contending to you that, excuse me, if you...
Stephen A. just said it shouldn't matter, by the way. You said it shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Right, yes.
Whatever.
Well, I just wanted to make sure people didn't mistake it for another word. Excuse me.
Shouldn't. Oh,
yes.
Thank you. Shouldn't matter. Appreciate that. Here's the deal. I'm looking at Milwaukee. You got home court advantage. Toronto with Kawhi rolling the way that he rolls. That's one element. The other element is that I'm looking at you if you're the Milwaukee Bucks, and guess what? You got to put your foot on your throat. The way that they played against Boston after Ramrod and they destroyed the Pistons in such a bad way, we actually walked away giving Blake Griffin a standing ovation for showing up in the last 2 games of the series and playing as valiantly as he played. But then we go, because that was really a bye as far as I'm concerned. But then you go up against Boston, and you take Kyrie and Tatum and all of them, and you take them out. And you take them out in such a way that people are sitting here contemplating with Danny Ainge. Now you got to go get AD, because clearly you can't stand pat and leave the team as is, because you ain't good enough no more. You ain't the monsters of the Eastern Conference. There's a new sheriff in town, okay? So what do you do? Where do you go from there? What you have to do is you have to look at the Milwaukee Bucks. You have to see the way that you played. You had a situation where the Greek Freak is balling out. Middleton is shooting lights out. Brook Lopez and Mirotic and all of these boys are shooting from the perimeter. You got to keep that momentum. You can't take your foot off the gas, because the Greek Freak is right. Toronto is not Boston in the sense that you might have more talent if you're Boston, but you're not as together of a unit as Toronto is. The best part about Toronto is not just the greatness of Kawhi Leonard. The best part about Toronto is that you're looking at this squad, and they're together. Everybody knows their position. Nobody's out of pocket. Everybody, they're a unit. They do their job. What is it that we brag about with Milwaukee? They do their job. So if you give away the one edge that you have right now, which is home court advantage, that's going to make it tough for you. I think it's incredibly important that Milwaukee win both games 1 and 2 in this series.
Who do you think is going to have the bigger game?
That's what we were going to.
Would you go Giannis or Kawhi?
Okay, good. You said what you just said because about, everyone knows their job, but we both agree that everyone knows their job. They're very similar in certain ways. They have a star player, but Milwaukee's got a little more talent at some point. Like, there's no one as good as Chris Middleton on the other team.
Correct.
I would argue Brogdon, even Siakam, yes, but Brogdon more consistently when he's healthy. Mirotic also is very underrated if he ever gets, he gets really going, because he was hurt right after the trade. Kawhi's going to have the bigger game, I think, than the Freak tonight. You were saying, Max, you were sitting there saying Kawhi is so bad, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I believe Kawhi will have the bigger game, and I believe the Raptors can win this game 1. Because what we saw in the first series was it took one game, for the Freak to adjust to what they were doing to him. I think we could see the same sort of thing. I think Kawhi could go ballistic in this game, and the Raptors could do a good enough job defensively on the Freak that Milwaukee's going to have to make adjustments. The thing about having a willing superstar who will find his open teammates and create quality shots for them, as Giannis is, and a really smart coach, as Budenholzer is, they'll make those adjustments.
Well, here's why I disagree with you, and I think it's the Greek Freak that's going to have a bigger game tonight. I think they're home. I think he's going to be a monster. Eastern Conference Finals, first time in like 18 years or whatever. Since 2001, when I covered them against the Philadelphia 76ers, Game 7. Everybody was so enamored with Vince going up against AI. That was the semifinals. The finals was AI and the crew against the big dog, Glenn Robinson, Ray Allen, Sam Cassell, and those boys. Different ball game, and it went Game 7 as well. I look at that situation, and I say, this is your first time back. It's the Midwest. Ain't really nothing there going on. I know we respect the Brewers. Please don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Yelich and the crew. But the bottom line is, it's about, this is all they got. This is all they have. And they want it bad. And I think the Greek Freak, you mentioned this the other day, Max, when you talked about his want-it factor and all that. We all applaud that we get it. We see he gained 51 pounds of muscle since he came into the league. We see all of this. But what the most lovable thing about him, the most lovable thing about the Greek Freak, in my estimation, he ain't interested in nothing but this. He's trying to take cats out. He's trying to win a championship. He ain't thinking about anything but destroying you. He's in his home crowd against his home. Marcus Gasol can't defend no Greek freak. You might try. You're going to have a shot with Ibaka. Okay, good luck with that. I'm just looking at the
but
bodies
they
that
do
you
have guys that can throw at him. Siakam, Ibaka.
They got the Siakam,
you're going to have to
Ibaka.
wall off the paint like everyone
I'm
does.
saying you're going to have to wall off the paint. But in walling off the paint, how is that going to neutralize what you do? It's going to be you even more dependent on Kawhi offensively.
Yep.
And see, I think that the Greek freak is going to be in attack mode tonight. And that's what I'm looking at.
I agree. The thing I love about Kawhi is heavyweight champion way back in the day, Joe Louis, who before Muhammad Ali was considered the greatest heavyweight champion ever. His face was always the same. Whether he was in trouble, which wasn't often, or he was
Jim
knocking
Brown.
the dude out.
Yep.
Totally impassive face. It's almost scary. That's Kawhi.
Right.
Kawhi's like Joe Louis. You look at his face, seconds ticking off the clock,
Yeah.
Last shot of the game, fate of the universe on the line. Same thing as a preseason game. You can't even tell what's going on.
I think
Always
I
even,
could
never get too high or
swing
too
Max
low.
in my direction with this one statement. I think because Kawhi is that way and he's playing as great as he is, I think that's even more inspiration for the Greek
I'll say
freak.
this about the Freak. This is why I think in the end,
he's coming.
in the end, I believe he will beat Kawhi in this series. I believe he will beat Kevin Durant even if he comes back against Golden State. This dude lives in, where does he live, Molly, in Milwaukee?
He lives with his parents.
In
a two-bedroom
Do you know
apartment,
the
his
story?
family.
The story
Man,
when he first
you know
got to
what?
the league.
He's got that home cooking going on.
But
That's
it's
what
not
that's
even
about.
that. It's how much you respect for him. He's in Milwaukee. We know it doesn't cost a lot in rent, that kind of thing. And to be with your family in a two-bedroom.
When he first got to
like
the
his
league,
focus.
when he first got to the league, he sent his game check back home. The story goes, right? Had no money, just sent the whole check home. And had no way to get to the arena. Starts running to the arena. A fan spots him. Hey, aren't you the #1 draft pick? Aren't you our first-round pick? Get in. Drives him to the arena. This dude does not work out with opposing players in the offseason. He goes, I'm trying to beat that guy. I'm not his friend. I'm trying to beat him.